What's up, Star Wars fans? Today, I want to review Episode 7 of the Book of Boba Fett. And what a fantastic episode it was. Director Robert Rodriguez really redeemed himself with this episode. The episode starts with Boba Fett and Fennec Shand visiting the Sanctuary, or at least what's left of it. They set up their plans for the defense of Mos Espa, but are really depending on those reinforcements from Freetown. From here, we cut to Boba's adversaries, Cad Bane and the Pike Syndicate, making their plans, and during this discussion we find out that it was indeed the Pikes that were behind the destruction of Boba Fett's Tusken Raider tribe. Next up, we see something I definitely wasn't expecting, and that is R2 flying little Grogu and Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. R2 leaves the little guy in the capable hands of Peli, and unfortunately that means that there's no Luke Skywalker in this episode at all. But it also certainly adds to the suspense of the show. Now little Grogu has just entered a war zone, and we know that Luke Skywalker isn't going to show up and save the day, and I absolutely love how this allows Boba Fett to regain the spotlight in his own show. Next up, we have a face-off between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, where Cad Bane is trying to negotiate a surrender with Boba Fett, or at least some sort of terms that will prevent the war from happening. And honestly, to me, this scene felt a little unnecessary. I mean, we all know that we're building to this climactic battle, but the scene did allow Cad Bane to tell Boba Fett that it was indeed the Pike Syndicate that destroyed the Tusken Raiders. So certainly that does add an extra layer of emotion to this coming fight. But moving on from here, all the families of Mos Espa start to turn on Boba Fett and his crew. He loses his Gamorrean guards, it looks like he loses Black Stanton, and he loses a good chunk of the biker gang as well. But it gets even worse. Boba Fett and Din Djarin are completely surrounded by the Pike Syndicate, and in my favorite action sequence of this episode, we see Boba Fett and Din Djarin attacking the Pikes, using their jetpacks to fly in with a surprise attack. Boba and Mando together take out countless Pikes, but more and more keep coming. Despite the fact that they use all of their Mandalorian tricks, there's just too many Pike Syndicate warriors. Now, while Boba and Mando have been fighting the Pikes, Fennec Shand has been trying to help out the biker gang and Black Stanton. So this allows the colorful biker gang to make their way back to the Sanctuary and reinforce Din Djarin and Boba Fett. It's also at this time that the Freetown militia show up to help reinforce Din Djarin and Boba Fett and fight off the Pikes. And I gotta say, at this point the action has been fantastic, seeing Boba Fett and Din Djarin fighting off the Pikes, and then seeing the Freetown militia show up to rescue them. Well, this has just been exactly what I was hoping we were gonna get out of this episode. But that said, it gets even better. As the Pikes withdraw, they send in two giant robots that, similar to the prequel era droidicas, have massive force fields protecting them. And unfortunately, Boba Fett, Din Djarin, and even the Freetown militia, well, they have no answer for these giant droidica droids. And it's at this point that Boba Fett takes off to get the Rancor, and Peli Motto shows up with little Grogu. And again, I just love how introducing Grogu to this situation just amps up the suspense, as it is certainly such a dangerous situation, and that dangerous situation only becomes more precarious when Boba Fett shows up on the Rancor. And in one of the most amazing Star Wars fights ever, we get Boba Fett on a Rancor taking on a giant droid. Not once, but twice. And from that point, we see Boba Fett and Cad Bane face off, and Boba Fett is able to defeat Cad Bane with his gaffy stick, which I thought was a really nice touch and callback to the beginning of the series. And unfortunately, when Boba Fett becomes preoccupied with Cad Bane, that means that the Rancor is running loose in Mos Espa, and using the Force, it's none other than little baby Grogu that is able to calm the Rancor down. And overall, I thought this was a fantastic episode, and loved how it returned Boba Fett to being the main character in his own series once again. But hey, Star Wars fans, that's all the time I have for my review today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching, and may the Force of others be with you.